Let's get out on the Western Exterminator hotline right now, and we're going to be joined by the assistant basketball coach of San Diego State, and we've been talking the entire first hour about what a big ball game tomorrow night in Fort Collins, Colorado. Colorado State coming in loaded for bear, playing some great basketball at 19-4, 6-2 in conference, second place, half game back in New Mexico, and the Aztecs 1 game back of first place New Mexico right now going into that ball game. And Mark Fisher joins us on the Mighty 1090. Mark, welcome. How are you?
Hey, Coach. We just got to Fort Collins, and we're doing well. How are you, my friend?
Doing pretty well. You guys practice here and then catch a flight today?
Yes, sir. We are here. We're about to finish up some pregame meal, go into a film session, and get ready to do what the last 30-some teams haven't been able to do, and that's get a win in this building.
That's pretty amazing what they've been able to get accomplished over the last few years there in Fort Collins. And, you take a look at what they're doing this year, and they gave you guys all you could handle here in the second conference game. You guys had to win in overtime, but they're just playing great basketball. Yeah,
Coach, no disrespect to New Mexico, who I think is phenomenal and has a great coaching staff, but I think Colorado State's playing the best basketball of anybody in the league. If you look at the advanced statistics, which coaches like to look at, the tempo-free numbers, they have an extremely high efficiency offensively in conference, by far the highest. I believe they're second in defensive efficiency. So they're playing terrific. They're so hard to beat at home. Interesting piece of trivia, the last team to win in Moby Arena against the Rams as a visitor was Southern Miss, coached by Larry Eustachio, who, of course, is now the head coach of Colorado State.
Hey, wasn't it last year, or I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I want to say it was last year. Didn't they, blow you guys out there?
They gave it to us pretty good. We were fighting and scratching and clawing to get it back to a single-digit game the whole game, and I think it ended up being 15 or so. But, yeah, they gave it to us. They must have remembered the game-winning buzzer beater DJ Gay hit the year before that, and they thought they owed us.
Hey, the one thing, and I don't have the stat sheet in front of me from that first game, but even though you guys won that game in overtime, they really out-rebounded you by a wide margin that day.
They did, Coach, and Coach and I were just Coach Fish and I were just looking at the numbers. They are the best rebounding team in the country. They're number one in the country in defensive rebounding percentage. They get almost 80% of their opponents' misses, and they're second in the nation in offensive rebounding. They average, I think, 42% of their own misses they get, which are just astronomical numbers, and they do it from three positions. They're 3, 4, and 5, all rebound. They're tenacious, they're active, they're athletic, and this is by far the biggest challenge we'll have on the glass.
How did this program get so good all of a sudden?
You know what I think it is, Coach? I think it's a thing that some people take for granted nowadays, and that's seniors. This is a team that starts 5 seniors, if you can believe that. Guys that have been through some average seasons when they were young. They grew as juniors and made the NCAA tournament as an at-large team. And this year they've got their sights set on bigger prizes. They want to win the league and advance in the tournament. This is probably one of the best teams that Colorado State's ever had. And they have big dreams, and I think a lot of that has to do with senior experience and leadership.
Mark Fisher, assistant basketball coach, San Diego State, our guest on the Western Exterminator hotline. It seems like they do a pretty good job, Colorado State, of really spreading around their scoring.
They do, Coach. They've got the biggest piece to their offense is their 7-foot center, Colton Iverson. He gets touches every possession if they can in the low block. But then everybody plays off him. They've got Dorian Green and Wes Eichmeyer, 2 very talented guards that can shoot the three and drive the ball. They got Greg Smith, a versatile small forward who can post up, shoot, and drive. And then Pierce Horning, who's the super active, athletic, do-everything rebounder, gets most of his baskets on drives and putbacks. But you're absolutely right. They're all skilled. They can all make plays. They run a lot of motion, so you're not sure where the ball's going at any given time. And they spread that scoring out. I think they have 6 guys that average between 15 and 8 or 9 points.
How much do you and the coaching staff and your dad, how much do you guys think altitude plays into it? Is it more physical or is it more mental?
We don't even talk about it. We We think bringing it up only puts it in the back of the guys' minds. They might talk about it amongst themselves, some privately. It never comes up publicly. I think it was Tark back in the day, Coach, that used to trick his team and say elevation doesn't affect you indoors. I'm not sure we could pull that one off. But I think a lot of it is mental. There certainly is a physical element to it. But I think once you get through that first wall of fatigue, DJ Gay always used to run laps around the court when we got to altitude to get that first wall of fatigue. And once he got beyond that, he always said he felt pretty normal.
Mark Fisher joining us from Fort Collins, Colorado. Did you guys go out to eat, or did you eat in the hotel?
We just got here. We had a nice little burgers and chicken tenders dinner, and we're going to get cracking on the film and see if we can spot some weaknesses from the Rams. There sure are many, though. Well,
it sounds like you've already done a pretty good job of scouting. You gave us a great scouting report already tonight. Let's talk about this past week, and then we'll get into later in the week because you got a very difficult week. But last week, a couple of nice wins. You take down Boise State. It wasn't easy. It took Chase Tapley to nail one there towards the buzzer. With about 2.1 seconds to go, and you guys got out of there by your chinny chin chin.
We sure did, and I'm sure most Aztec fans are probably like me. We only remember the tough ones that we lose, so it was nice to win one that you felt maybe you were a little lucky to win. And we played okay, Coach. We guarded pretty well. We hit a little bit of a low late. They made some shots. We played a good team. But you have to find ways to win, especially at home. And, you know, it wasn't the prettiest victory, but, you know, at the end of the day, a W is a W, and we needed it desperately to stay on the hunt.
And Saturday you guys came out and really bushwhacked Fresno State right from the get-go. I mean, it was kind of an odd first half. You guys only led 25-17, but then you put 50 points up in the second half and cruised to that 75-53 win. And in that game, Xavier Thames did played a total of 13 minutes. How did he play, and how did he feel? Because I know you guys got him out of there fairly early in the second half when you had the big lead.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, Coach. You know better than most how valuable X is to our program and to our team. And it was, I would say, reassuring in terms of how he played, and most importantly, I think, in terms of how he felt. You know, he made a three. I think he made a nice drive and got fouled. He was his normal self defensively in great gaps and always helping people. And he told Tom Abdenauer, our trainer, after the game that, he felt a little sore but didn't feel pain. And the difference between soreness and true pain, I think, is really important when you're dealing with the back. He's definitely going to play tomorrow. How much, I'm not sure. How he'll feel, I don't think even he knows. But I think at the end of the day, to play 13, 15 minutes and leave and say it didn't hurt was reassuring to Tom, to X, and to all of us.
Mark, my question with this, and I know you're not the head trainer, but, you've been around long enough, and I know from having played in college with a real bad knee, it was better to come out after you'd gone through warm-ups to play. Once you came out or had to sit out at halftime, that thing stiffens up. You're pretty much done for the night. How about with Xavier Thames? Is it better to start him to where he's got that sweat going from warm-ups, or do you feel comfortable bringing him off the bench after he sat for 7 or 8 minutes of game time?
We had this exact conversation, Coach and I, and then we had it with Xavier. I think it might have been before Nevada, and we said, X, we want to start you to keep you warm, just like you said, Coach. And he said, no. I haven't practiced. It's not my spot right now to start. The guys are playing well. I can keep the hot pack on my back. I'll be fine. And it was Xavier who said, I can come off the bench. I can come in at the 15, 14-minute mark. It's not fair for me not to practice and start. And you know what? At some point, Coach Fish might say, you know what, you're starting. But I think that said a lot about Xavier's character to say, I think the guys that go through the grind day after day should get the opportunity to start the game.
Oh, I think that's very commendable. But, again, the head man has to make that call, especially going down the stretch.
Exactly right.
Hey, the one guy that kind of impressed me, and I know he didn't log a lot of minutes, he only logged 10 minutes, but we had a sighting of Dwayne Poley in that game. He was pretty electric there for a few minutes.
Yeah, Coach Fish always jokes that every time Dwayne gets in the game, the ball somehow finds his hands in an opportunity where he almost has to shoot. And Dwayne took, I think, 4 shots. They were all good shots. They were all in rhythm. He's proven to us in practice he can make a catch-shoot open 3. I think he was only 1 for 10 coming into that game, but we have faith that he can make that shot. And he had that nice lob dunk in transition after Jamal made a nice pitch ahead and chased through a nice lob. You know, Dwayne's such a wonderful kid, Coach. He doesn't say a word when he doesn't play other than cheering for his teammates. But he's a guy that's got to help us in spots. Maybe it's defensively. Maybe it's to spell somebody for a few minutes. Maybe to guard the other team's best player. But the beauty of Dwayne is when we call his number, I think he's going to be ready no matter what the job description is.
Hey, Mark, what does he have to do to log more playing time? Is there one area that he's a little deficient in right now?
You know what, Coach? I think it's a situation similar to when in 2011, when we were really good, and we had Mehdi Chayet on the team, who
right.
I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
Mehdi was a really good player, but Coach really only plays an 8.5-man rotation. And that's just the way he's always been. That's the way his rotations work. He likes to get his main guys comfortable and back in the game at certain sequences. And I think Dwayne, unfortunately, is that 8.5. He's that half. But, you know, some games he'll play 10, 12 minutes. Some games he might not play. And I'm not sure if it's anything in particular. I think it's just a case of trust with some of the guys that play a lot of minutes. A guy like JJ, who's really proven that we can rely on him in a lot of facets. And I think Dwayne just, unfortunately, not for lack of effort or lack of ability, I think he's just that odd man out right now.
And again, he's only a sophomore, and he's, you know, I know he redshirted here last year, but again, he's still growing and learning, and definitely a very athletic guy. The other guy that I thought played very well, and he logged almost 20 minutes, 19 minutes to be exact, was Skylar Spencer, 3 for 3, 3 block shots, 6 rebounds, 6 points. Nice effort.
Yeah, he's getting better every day, Coach. Offensively, it's coming along slow, but what he's really starting to pick up on that side of the ball is where to be, how to space himself, where to put his body so he can be the recipient of someone else's penetration for a quick catch finish, which is normally how we see him score, or maybe an offensive rebound. Defensively, he's just so good instinctually. He can block shots. He has terrific timing. He's good stopping the ball on ball screens. He's somebody who I think will take a monumental leap forward the next couple of years, but as of now has been so valuable to us as a one-on-one stopper on the post, which we'll need tomorrow, but also as a helper on other people's drives.
You got to help the helper, right?
You got it. And that's one of the things we do best. When our big guys come over to help the guards, another guard has to drop in front of the big. We do it every day. And usually we tell our guys the mark of any team can help. But really good defensive teams help, and then they help the helper, and then maybe even have to help the helper's helper and get into a scramble. And that's when you know you're a good team defensively, when you can help and then help and then help, and not just help once and give up an easy basket.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if the Mountain West Conference could have given you guys a tougher week scheduling-wise. You got Colorado State tomorrow night. Then you got to go to UNLV to Thomas and Mack on Saturday, and they took you guys down here, and you guys owe them over at their place, but they've kind of fallen on hard times a little bit. They're only 5-4 in conference.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. This is probably our toughest stretch on paper these next few games. We just got to find a way to be in it in the last 2 minutes. You know, on the road against an elite team, if you could stay close and be in the game in those last couple minutes, we're talented enough and smart enough, and we have enough veteran guys where we truly believe we're going to win games down the stretch. And as you said, with Vegas, we owe them one. You know, they got one here on us, and we need to return the favor.
Hey, Mark, I'll let you go. I'll let you, finish up your little chicken tenders, and you can put those in your back pocket and go watch a little tape.
That sounds great, Coach. Are you doing anything for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I'm getting off early because we got a USD game, so I'm going to take my wife out to a Chinese restaurant.
Beautiful. I'm going to take my wife to Italian, so hopefully we'll get some points for that.
Yeah, I hope. I'm always needing points working nights. Hey, stay out of trouble and good luck.
I'll do it, Coach. See ya.
All righty. Mark Fisher, assistant basketball coach, San Diego State. Yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm getting her, though. I'm going to take her out for dinner. We're going to get home.